So last week we have actually seen on topic 1, which is on what are the skills required for data scientists and what is a pipeline. So I mentioned that the pipeline is important. So now we are going to start from scratch. Some of you have already have some programming experience with Python, but all of you have experience with C, just that you don't remember, right? Okay. So we're going to start from the scratch. So we're going to go through all the skills and the knowledge that we require to become a data scientist. So of course, when we're going to start looking at working with the numbers and some of the logics, because these are the things that you'll be using extensively. So I'm going to skip. I'm not going to read through all these notes because it's there for you to actually read. So we're going to do more of the typing part. Is that okay? So we're looking at integer. Just for a quick recap on integer. So integer is basically a whole number, and of course the decimal number has a decimal part, so that is not integer. So integers are represented as the integer type in data type in Python, and there is also another type which is known as float. So this is where it includes the decimal part, and we define the number of floating point value that we want to include. So 1 floating point or 2 floating points. So Python stores floating point values in the float data type. So if you want to use decimal, then you use float type. Integer means purely integer, right? And we also have complex numbers. So complex numbers has basically 2, which is the real number and of course the imaginary number. And how we define it is by the imaginary number, either you represent it using j or I, and without any just the number alone, integer alone, that is known as the real part. So this is how you define the real or imaginary. So then of course we're looking at Boolean. Boolean is we define as bool type. So of course it can be either 0 or 1 or true or false. This is the Boolean type. And take note that the Python are case sensitive. So that's also true or false. This is capital T. And we can also assign to use the true or false keywords. So for example, if you are defining a variable as true, all this for you to type, but this is too small. Let me know if the size is small and enlarge it. And then if you so what we are doing now is we are assigning a variable, we are equating into 2. This part of assigning operator. Assign operator we will look at the later point of time. But if you assign a as true, then if you type and in bracket if you type a, how do you execute? This is so what you are looking at is what we known as one cell. This is one cell in Jupyter Notebook. This is one cell. So how do you execute a cell? Optionally, you can on top you can go to Jupyter, there's a run the cell, but you can always use shift enter. So shift enter, give the output. So the keyword type gives you the type of variable for the a. It's a Boolean type. So if you assign a as true, so let's say if you assign a as 10, you see it gives the type as integer, and if you assign as 0.5, assign as float. So Python, that keyword type, has the ability to identify the type. Is that okay? Is everyone typing? You are not typing. Why didn't say anything? Did you manage to? Okay, let's pause this. So another way that you can define a bool variable. Just now we define a Boolean variable by just assigning a equals to, that's a assign operator. So the another way is you can actually create expression that can define a logic idea. So for example, this is an expression a 5 less than 3, right? So equals to Boolean variable. So automatically this Boolean variable will be assigned either true or false, depending, because you have operator here, right? The output of this operator expression is only will be true or false, right? So you can actually assign it in this way. So let's do that. So we can assign a Boolean variable, and you can assign to this expression 5 if it's less than 3. Now you need to write the Boolean variable, then you will be able to see the output. If you just write an expression which has the left hand side and right hand side, like for example the Boolean variable equals to 5 less than 3, it will not give you any output. So that's why we have to, in order for us to view what is the output of the variable, so we write the bool variable. So it gives false because 5 is not less than 3. So this is another way of how you want to assign the Boolean operator.